We recording. We're not ready.
Let me just finish this last chocolate stick.
Wait, eat some of that into the mic too.
Oh, ASMR?
ASMR.
Alright, I'm about to take a piece of this Pocky stick.
I really want to hear that.
I really want to hear that shit.
Alright, man. I seen this post on Facebook.
Okay. Of course, Facebook.
Of course, you feel me? It's always some depravity on Facebook. And now I gotta share it with y'all. Alright, so it says, so one of my friends really got mad at me because she's trans and she's bad as fuck to the point where it'll take you a little minute to even realize she's trans. But she really liked this nigga I'm close with. And he's like a brother to me. And he liked her too. So I told her to tell him about herself being trans. Because that's not something you hide from someone. She said she wasn't telling him, and we got into a whole argument about this shit. Because I'm like, if it was anybody else, I wouldn't give a fuck. But this is like my brother, and I didn't want her to play him like that. And then she says, like, at least tell him and let him decide for himself if he wants to fuck with you. So I told him, and since she wouldn't, and he chose not to fuck her, now she's mad at me. And all of a sudden I'm fake and a bad person. But I was also looking out for her. A lot of niggas killed trans girls for hiding that shit. And I didn't want her to get hurt. And I also didn't want him to do, or I didn't want her to do him dirty either. So she was like, did I overstep? Was I in the wrong? How y'all feel?
It's a lot. Alright. This is what I'm gonna say. She didn't have to step in. She didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not mad. I would say I'm a uploader, but it's also part of, like, technically not part of your business, so you technically don't have to do it. So I'm not gonna say I'm an uploader for it, but I'm not upset, or I'm not gonna put any blame on her for doing so. Because
I wouldn't say it's not part of her business though, because it's her friend. The trans friend wanted her to like hook her up with her guy friend. So she's the middleman. So it is her business.
You're right. So in that instance, and she did the right thing. It wasn't just like he said, she said, he went to talk to her friend, and then she went to the friend like, hey, like, so and so they wanted to talk to you, but you know she's trans, this and that, and then come back and say, oh no, he's just not interested in you. Mm-hmm. She didn't like play like the fake way. She was like, yo, like, now, like, tell him that you're trans. Be honest. Because you don't know how he's gonna feel about it. And then her saying, no, I don't want to do that, it's misleading. Mm-hmm. Potentially leading on. Mm-hmm. And you could lose trust for somebody very easily like that. And then in that situation, I would say it was part of her, because then as the friend, the one that's posting this, if he would have found out after, he could have took it out on her too. Like, yo, like, why the fuck you ain't tell me this?
Exactly.
Like, this and that.
It's a breach of trust, for real.
So she feels like she would probably get like backstabbed or some shit for telling, but it's like, you're not the only person I'm looking out for. I gotta look out for him too. Mm-hmm. She probably wants to just be like, hey, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna want a trans girlfriend. But instead of saying that and coming up some way, he's like, hey, like, you should tell him yourself, so you can figure it out. Mm-hmm. She's not in the wrong. People gonna say she's in the wrong.
That's what I was about to say. Like, there was a lot of comments underneath the post talking about how she's wrong, and the guy's transphobic. It's like, just because you're a straight man and you don't want to date a trans woman doesn't make you transphobic. I don't know where people get that concept.
Yeah, so
it's construed.
That's like the same thing. It was like with people. If I was to say, hey, I mean, they're gonna put a label on everything. It's like, hey, like, I don't date white women. Now, as a black guy, I'm not gonna be racist. They're gonna be like, okay, cool. But if I say, hey, I don't date black women, it's okay. You hate yourself.
Or just flip it. Say you were a white guy and you're like, I don't date black women. That would automatically come off as a little bit racist. Mm-hmm. Even though it could be your preference. Like, most white guys date white women.
Just like, hey, I like. What's the term for it? Is cisgender? Is what you
cisgender.
Cisgender. Yeah. I like cisgender women. Is that the problem? Because if I say, hey, I only date cisgender women, is that now still transphobic? Because I'm using our terminology that I came up with.
Right. I would say some people would argue with the fact that you saying you only date cisgender women makes you transphobic because you don't see trans women as real women.
So what's the difference between having cisgender and transgender?
Exactly.
Y'all created this. Like, we're the reason why we have all these genders.
It's a lot of semantics, but
it's the same thing if it's like, okay, like it's all these races, but if I say, hey, I only date black women,
mm-hmm.
or I only date white women, or I only date Asians, it's oh no, you're racist. We gonna call, if you say I only date white, we gonna call him a coon, but it's funny. Like it's funny, but I personally don't care. But it's the same thing. It's like, why can't I just have a preference? This is what I grew up with all my life. I'm a picky eater. I stick with what I know. Cisgender women, that's what I grew up with. That's what I know. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick to that. That's fine.
I feel like she was right and she was wrong. I hate to be like split down the middle so much, but she was wrong for outing her trans friend. But she was also right for telling the guy, like, this is really what's up.
Yeah, but this is also...
She didn't want to initially tell him that she was trans, though. So
right.
That's why
you're right.
I don't want to say she's in the wrong because she also kept it from her taking advantage of her guy friend.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Some people have the same situation if it's like if you see somebody cheating on like your friend, keep quiet. Don't tell them. And it's like, but it's like, hey... Especially if it's like, oh, like you're both friend groups, and
mm-hmm.
it's like, damn, I don't want to tell him because I'm friends with this person, but you don't want to, as your friend for this person, you care about them just as much. So it's like the rules is supposed to be, oh, nah, if you see one of your man's getting cheated on something, you gonna tell your man that. If you see one of your female friends getting cheated on, you gonna tell her that. The problem comes in, it's like, alright, when the people or the person that's getting cheated on and the person that's cheating, you're both friends with. So then it's like you chose this person's side over this person. Like if the guy posted like, hey, this person was trans, they didn't want to tell me, this friend knew it, she just like pressed it forward, this and that, and like misled me and not tell me nothing, not being honest with me. Cause then now that's two people being misleading than just the one person.
True. She picked the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, because the other one could have possibly, like she said, it could have got the friend hurt, it could have got her hurt, and then who would have known what would have happened to the guy friend? He could have went to jail if he would have did some shit or something like that.
Yeah, like imagine they try to get intimate in the bedroom and then the wrong piece come out and there's two pieces in the room and the guy's like, what the fuck is going on?
How women say the male's ego is fragile. It's fragile, but not in the sense that it's fragile in the sense of like, I have to do this because if anybody was to find out, then it's gonna affect you in your life. But it's like, no, like as an ego, it's like it's no longer just like, oh yeah, I know I'm valid. Like, okay, like this happened, I got caught. A nigga's not gonna admit that.
I would be bold and categorize that under like sexual assault because that's like
that's
sex under false pretense. Like you think you're going into a sexual encounter with a woman, like a natural born woman, and it turns out it's something else.
It is true, but then at the same time,
that's OD.
It's gonna be the worst of two evils if he harms her in any way beyond like the limit of like whatever, like you said, like he could possibly kill her for that.
Mm-hmm.
That situation is no longer there. It's like, you killed a person. So with that, at that point, it's like, yeah, it could be like this, but it depends on how he reacts. You don't know how he gonna react. If he was just like, yo, I'm out, I'm leaving, then yeah, it's nothing on him. But as you know, like you hear the stories, like sometimes with like some shit happens. It happens with regular women. Hey, if a woman just denies a guy, like, hey, I don't want to talk to you, this and that, you know this nigga might go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a situation, you know,
that's
like,
not to say that all niggas are like just extremely violent or like
no, but
to that, but
they are out there.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
They are out there. Especially if you're like kind of ignorant and closed-minded, you don't want to acknowledge them for what they are. You might consider this person to be a man.
Mm.
And then it's like, you're a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man. And then, you know, as a man, you like, you might hit this person. You don't have a problem like fighting a guy, even though you may not hit an actual woman.
It could come to violence.
Yeah, it could quickly come to violence, and then either one of them could get hurt from that, physically, mentally. Like, even though she's getting the hate for it, it's kind of honorable because it's like she took the rap and took the possible heat for both situations.
True. He did say in the post as well, if it was like someone she didn't know, she wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, because
the fact that she knows the guy, one, she knows what he would like and what he wouldn't like, and they're very close.
You know what it also was? Because she even said, hey, I think in the bit, he said like, because he said like, you don't know she's trans. Mm-hmm. He said like she's bad or rip, and I've seen a few where it was like, yo,
you couldn't tell.
Are you sure? Like, and it was like, yeah. So it's I understand that. So he said like, oh, he showed like, I think he said like he might have been like he was a little interested too. Mm-hmm. But if you just seeing like IG pictures and stuff like that, you don't know anything, you don't know no backstory. Then it's like, yeah. I think it's also because she's saying like, oh, he was interested to begin with, but he doesn't know everything. Just say somebody doesn't eat pork, right? You got a friend that's like, hey, I cooked this food for him, but you know, like it has pork in it. But he said, I don't want to tell him because he might not like it. He might not like it,
right?
But then the other one's like, no, I made this, like I want him to have it, like, but I'm not gonna tell him there's no pork in it. People will view it completely different because it's like, oh, that's a religious belief, like you can't play with something like that.
It don't even have to be religious. It could be just someone who doesn't like to eat pork.
Just doesn't like eat pork. Like Watts, the same thing. Like if you tell somebody like, oh, Watts. Oh, like, oh, no, there's no pork in it, I'm just doing that. Just because you want him to try your food. If he finds out there's pork in it,
he'll be upset. Whether it hurts him or not,
he'll be upset with you. And then if I knew and I still let him eat it, then he's going to be upset with me too.
To breach your trust, yeah.
Could possibly lose trust and faith on both parties from like letting things go like this. Mm-hmm. Or you pick and choose, and like you said earlier, it was a lesser of two evils. Like, and I'm pretty sure like her friend, she doesn't like it, but the guy he's probably
really thankful for that.
He's probably really thankful for that. Like now it's like alright, now you have somebody that I got you. Get her the fuck out of here. Like,
everyone should just be honest.
Be honest. You know, I feel like the middleman, the one who
don't bring people into your own situations for no reason. Don't. If you want to keep it between you and this person, keep it between you and this person. Don't, because then that's when shit gets sticky. Because now you added somebody else into the mix.
Even the trans person was wrong in the sense that, like, why would you want to go somewhere where you're not welcome?
You should be comfortable.
You should be comfortable being with someone who's comfortable with you.
You know what I think?
You shouldn't try to force yourself, being a trans woman, to date people who don't date trans women.
Women kind of do this too, where it's like you may know this person doesn't like you, but you feel like you can change that once they get to know you or something like that.
Right.
And then it no longer, whatever the thing that you didn't like about me, it no longer matters. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just like,
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. Like, because people think, oh, you could fall in love and then all that shit goes out the window. And it's like, no, like, I could love somebody, but then if I still find out, like, oh, you know, like in the mix of us, like, you know, really getting to know each other, stuff like that, maybe you stepped out in a relationship. You think now just because we deep in this relationship, that's not going to affect me? It's like, no. One, you cheated. And then two, you didn't tell me. You put yourself in a situation with hope. That's the more of the story. Lose all hope. Don't rely on hope. Rely on facts, intuition, not women's intuition, but just intuition based off of like things you can gather, stuff like that. Yeah.
Be honest, man. Be honest with the people you want to date, the people you're interested in, and
because you know what that's like. Let's say you talking to me, right? And you was like, oh, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh my god.
And I said, oh, I'm a Libra. You like, oh, I love Libras. But you don't know I'm not really a Libra. Mm-hmm. I'm a whole. What's one of the word signs?
Virgo.
Let's say I'm a Virgo. It's oh man, Virgo men is like this, and I know you don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna say, oh, I'm a Libra. You're like, oh, like that's crazy. My natal chart, whatever, says that we're a match. My hemisphere ring is glowing now. Like
it does not glow.
What does it do?
It's freaking dark gray.
But what does it do then?
It does nothing. That's the point. It does nothing. It doesn't do anything.
You dropped it mad times, dog.
No.
You always bang your head against the refrigerator, like they have a crack in
It
it.
absorbs negative energy and then it shatters.
What if you the negative energy? You got it on your ring the whole. You got it on your finger the whole time.
It's not. It doesn't work.
How does it work like that? So it absorbs negative energy from other people, but not your own.
Like I said in a previous video,
How that shit pick and choose?
doing witchcraft
Mine
and still
shattered at
picking the
work.
wrong niggas. yo.
Cause of you.
Because of work.
No, your negative energy about work shattered it.
Anyways, I don't know.
Anyways, be honest with the people you're dating, man. Don't go anywhere you're not welcome, and that includes dating and let
Facts.
people know about
And if you wanna, it's like cancel all this and cancel out the rest of this. Get you what's the other, the hermaphrodite ring?
There you go.
Hematite ring.
Get you a hermaphrodite ring. No,
Hematite.
no, I'm talking about a hermaphrodite ring. Like
They don't
no,
have those.
you better make you one. It's just like that's all I got. Oh no, actually, how would you feel if it was a different situation where the reverse is flipped? You're the friend that this trans man wants to get with. You're the
trans man is trying to get with you.
Yes.
Okay.
And your friend is friends with the trans man.
And the friend tells me that he's a trans man.
Mhm.
Or doesn't.
Or doesn't tell you. Would it be a difference?
No. Is the trans man gonna tell me that he's trans?
No.
Same situation.
I mean, I would want them to tell me.
Well, then I go tell you.
No, I would.
You would want to know.
The friend could tell me.
But either way, you'd want to know.
Yes, I would
Okay.
like to. I would want to be honest.
Fair enough.
Because what if I don't want? Okay, I
Oh,
want to be comfortable.
Is that transphobic for women? If they don't want a trans man.
Okay.
Because guys are always something phobic. We women phobic. We homophobic. We what is it? We got little dicks.
Small dick energy.
Small dick energy.
We're short.
Short. We're frail.
No money.
Broke.
Dollar. No.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want to cash me money? Oh, he broke. Like,
Oh man, this video took too long.
he said, how do we get this off? It's like,
We just keep talking.
and then, we just let it end off.
I'll let you decide, nigga.
Right there. Just right there. Just let it.